Hi, my name is Wong. I'm the manager, third generation owner of this supermarket, Sun Company in Chinatown. I'd like to take a little tour of our store and show you some of the items that even in the largest supermarket you won't find these products, but these products are very, very easy to work with, and the variety is tremendous. I'll give you a little tour and maybe a couple of tips on how to cook up these products. In our sauce section, not sauces as we know it, where you go to a typical supermarket and everything's prepped. It's sauces we consider like soy sauce, fish sauce, oyster sauce. They're ingredients to make up one's own sauce, make up one's own marinade. There are a lot of pre-made sauces now, but I think most households still prefer to blend their own, to accustom to their taste. Over here we have the what you would almost find in most dishes or every dish in a Thai or Vietnamese restaurant. Fish sauce is not really fish, it's an anchovy. You can use it in Thai dishes or substitute it for soy sauce, at home. It's not much different than an Italian restaurant using an anchovy paste to season a salad or season a dish. You can use a fish sauce to season a vegetable dish, a meat dish, or just use it as a marinade. Another important condiment, but should be used very lightly, is a sesame oil. Sesame oil is not a oil for cooking, it's a seasoning oil. Too much sesame oil will overpower a dish, and also too much sesame oil it can upset your digestive system. So a bit of it just to bring out the flavor, to pull the flavor out of a dish. Sesame oil, a small bottle will go a long way. We have bean sauces. Bean sauce is basically a fermented soybean. Soybean fermented, some to ferment sweet, some are hot. Soybean you'll see a lot in northern dishes. In southern dishes, soybean is more used in the household. Instead of putting salt on a dish or just soy sauce, a soybean, it's been aged, fermented, so it's like the Japanese use miso. We use the soybean in kind of the same way. It can be ground or it can be whole soybeans, and we use it to season dishes. We use it to marinate dishes. Soy sauce is either a light, not meaning low salt, but a thin soy sauce. When you cook with this little saltier flavor and doesn't add a color to the food. 99% of the dishes or soy sauce as a table condiment or for cooking would be a thin soy you see in a restaurant. There's also a black soy sauce, which is a little darker, not as salty. There's a double black soy. It's much darker, a little heavier. It has a little more sweetness to it. These variety of soy sauce, a lot of it's different brands, but even within a particular company, they may have three grades, 4 or 5 grades of soy sauce. Soy sauce is a fermented process, so it's basically brewed, just as you brew a beer. So the flavors are very distinctive, the colors are distinctive, and people swear by their the brands. Chili sauces, these are probably one of the most familiar ones. Sriracha you'll see in a lot of restaurants. We use chili sauce usually a lot of times, not cooked right in the dish, but to complement or to season a dish after it's cooked. Oyster sauce is extracted from oysters. They process to get the oyster juice, and it's another fermentation process. You've probably seen this in recipes books, heard about it in a lot of these food shows, these 1,000-year-old eggs. 1,000-year-olds are not really 1,000-year-old. They're brines. The brine, so they come out that's dark black color, and the white and the yolk is a little gelatinous. It may look 1,000-year-old, it may taste 1,000-year-old, but it's not. And it's an egg you see almost in every table, every holiday dish. Where there's cold platter, there's sometimes the jellyfish put 1,000-year-old. They kind of complement each other. Pickled daikon and pickled radish. This one has been minced. Usually they're sold in long strips, and that's one of the basic ingredients in pad thai. That gives you that salty flavor, and when you bite into the pad thai, and there's a little crunch to it and a little salt. That's a salted radish, just a long version of it. They use a minced version of it. We use it to season, not season, but we use it to cook with meats, stir fry with it. This would add the saltiness to it. You wouldn't have to add salt to the dish. You wouldn't have to add other items to the dish. Lotus seed plant or lotus root. These are the seeds from the lotus root, and these are used in desserts. They're used in salted soups. They're used in sweet soups. They're used in the bachin, which is the eight ingredients, rice, dried dates, also to add a sweetness to a soup. Not to be eaten like this. We use it for some casseroles. Dried stockfish. These are to add a seafood flavor or also a flavor of soup. It's similar to, we call it stockfish, almost like the bonito flakes you would see in a miso soup. Japanese use bonitos. We use other varieties of dried fish. It gives that a very different dimension to a seafood soup than normally you would see with a fresh fish bones. Soybean sheets or soybean sticks. When they boil a pot of a soybean, the curd on top, they would just ladle up with a stick and hang to dry. And we reconstitute these by just soaking in warm water, use it for soups, use it for casseroles, use it for braising, or do a vegetarian just a stir fry with the bean curd sticks. These are different varieties. Some come in sticks, some come flat, some come knotted, so when you bite into it, it gives it a crunch. Some comes rolled. These are dried. There's also a dozen varieties of the frozen bean curd products. Seaweed, the best seaweed processed in Hong Kong, China, but they're originally from Canada. They send them there, they ship them back, and we do soups with these. What most people are familiar with is nori sheets for, in your Japanese restaurant for sushi. These can also be used in soups. You drop them in water, they break up. It makes a very nutritious soup with a little, we just do a little pork, a little ginger, and a little egg wash, and a very, very quick and healthy soup. Dried fungus. This is what you find in a mushi. When you get mushi pork in a northern restaurant, or you have a hot and sour soup, this is what you get, not the wood ears. Wood ears is generally you see in homes. You will never see that in restaurants, other than if they shred it. They shred the wood ears because it's easier to shred in larger pieces. What everybody knows, shiitake mushrooms. We have about 20, 30 varieties of shiitakes, and they're graded. Shiitakes all come from the same batch, but they're graded according to the thickness. The mushrooms develop a flour, we call it. They're almost bite-sized, and when you soak them up, they're good size for stir fry to soup. So dry products add a different dimension, flavor to the product. Like just as a sun-dried tomato is so different from a fresh tomato. These dry products or mix of dry products, a lot of them are pre-mixed with 4 or 5 dried items. Peel open, throw a little meat and water, and you have a long simmer soup. And these soups are not instant soups. Even though they're dried, people would simmer them for 3 or 4 hours. And the longer you simmer them, more the flavor and the better health-wise for you. So these are not to save time. That's how people preserve vegetables during the winter season in a country where refrigeration and conveniences weren't available. That's just a little preview of, or a little tour of what we have here. There's so many other items that I wish I had time to show you, but maybe drop by in town, look for me, and I'll give you a personal tour. Hopefully see you, some of your fans down here soon.